when he knew he soft his butter. He ain't never been a fighter. You can go and ask his mother. I'm a lover and a fighter. Producer and a writer. Give your girl a quick fix and give your man a nice shiner. You know
Real
I don't really want, and I can tell just by
Tua didn't take any hit like this at all. Tua didn't take none of these kind of hits.
I don't know
And
what
that
Tua's got to do
boy,
with any of this. We're not
what
talking
you
about Tua
mean?
right
It has a lot to do with it. It's this three in a possible NFL version, and your team is the Dolphins, and they trash without their quarterback, who's gonna be out for what, another 2 weeks at least.
now.
So, and he didn't
Minimum.
take no hit like this at all.
Whatever.
Not once has he ever taken a hit like that before. Look, little kids was even taking them hits and getting back up. Sorry, let's not do to it like that. Prayers to Tua, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. But before we get started, let's talk about Boom Fantasy before we make our weekly picks this week 5, 3 and a
Yes,
possible.
sir.
I won last week. Will is losing to me by what, 3 now? Is it 3?
2.
2?
Relax.
Hey, gotta start
Relax.
somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
And I'm gonna finish it somewhere too, because you ain't gonna beat me for the entire season. Just know that.
We'll see.
Just know
I'm gonna
that.
beat you in week 5 too. But let's talk about Boom Fantasy before we get to our
Yes, sir.
Thursday
Boom
Night Football
Fantasy.
reaction.
Use the code possible. You get up to $100 on risk-free bets. You get one bet, put up to $100 on that thing. If it misses, you'll get your $100 right back. They're doing a lot of different promos right now, and a lot of their games are only pick twos. So you would really only have to pick one right to be able to turn that $100 into maybe $200, maybe even something a little more. So check it out. Boom Fantasy code possible, up to $100 risk-free bet.
Damn, you try to slur that all together. You been drinking? I thought you stopped drinking.
Oh, Joe, I will say,
Slipped up.
last Sunday I had my first drink
Mm.
in 35 days, a single beer.
Ooh.
Haven't had anything since.
There you
So
go.
we've moved on from the no drinking, but we are now transitioning into the what most, I guess, normal
Moderate
people
approach.
Yeah.
There you go. Me too. You know what? I did that a couple months ago. I was like, I had a rough night, and I was like, I need to stop drinking. I was like, I was like, can you get allergic to alcohol? Because I had like 2 shots, and I was like blacked out, like sloppy drunk, and I was like, how did that happen?
You always been a lightweight, but I digress.
Is it a lightweight, or do I just drink too fast?
Lightweight.
Yeah, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. That's not true. That is so not true. I can drink a bottle of tequila.
We all know how those nights end, Joe.
That's true. That was only once. Anyway, let's do our Thursday Night Football reaction. It was last night. I'm glad we didn't. We talked about this before we started. We were like, "Oh, thank God we didn't have to pick this game because
we would have started out
I think we
0-1.
both would have went with the Bucks." I definitely would not have picked the Falcons because, hey man, I might have to say, Kirk Cousins, he might have got over that primetime game hump.
I
thing
gave
may be gone.
a week or so ago. He's like he's got a really good record in his last, I think, 2 or 3 years in prime time. He's been.
It's just the normal day games now that he's assing.
I don't know. I think the end of the day with Kirk Cousins is he's just Kirk Cousins. He's gonna Kirk it up every once in a while. We used to think maybe it was just like a prime time thing, but I think it's more just a random thing. He's gonna Kirk it up. You can take that for whatever you want to take it for.
I'm gonna say that could be like Gardner Minshew. He's a better version of Gardner Minshew, where you're gonna get some really good weeks of him in a row, and then you're gonna get some horrible weeks of him as well. He doesn't turn the ball over like that, but there's just games where he plays where you're just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you checking down so much?
He's like the elite level of whatever like his tier of quarterback is, whatever you want to call
Alex
that.
Smith.
I don't love the game manager term because I don't like the connotation that goes with it. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with people that just play within their offense and don't try to do too much. But he's not in that top tier, obviously, but he is like the elite of that kind of secondary tier.
I'll give you that. He's better than Dak. I think he's better. They're the same. Geno Smith, would you take Geno right now? Geno has to be up there as like one of the offensive players of the year right now. He's been playing really well. I mean, he's not like lighting it up, but he's like you said, game manager.
I would fairly comfortably take Kirk Cousins or Dak Prescott over Geno Smith.
I mean, yeah, he'll get you further, but right now, this season,
I need to see Geno start playing some people.
that's fair.
I mean, he was
That's
he was
fair.
pretty good against the Lions. He's pretty good against the Lions. I don't know that I'm all the way bought into the Lions defense though. So like I want to see like
Yeah, that's yeah.
me, he was not very impressive when he played my Dolphins a couple weeks ago, even though they won easily. I just I didn't walk away thinking, wow, Geno Smith really lit us up. Like that wasn't what happened. The Dolphins really fucked.
Geno Smith, Sam Darnold have been like the two most impressive quarterbacks in the NFC. In the NFC,
no, Jaden Daniels clearing both of them.
Jaden Daniels had 2 good games out of 4. Those guys have been consistent throughout the season.
Jaden Daniels didn't get to play the Panthers and the Raiders and the Dolphins without their quarterback.
I'll give you that. That's fair. But Jaden Daniels is working out because he has a great run game. Like people keep forgetting how good that run game is.
What Kenneth Walker just do on Monday Night Football?
Went
How many
crazy.
touchdowns?
Went crazy. 3. He went crazy.
Yeah.
Went crazy.
Yeah.
That
Awesome
that
fantasy
flip
matchup.
that he did was genius. Like
That was great.
how you think of that in that moment was hilarious. It's crazy. That was crazy. But let's go ahead and let's do our NFL picks now since we had to talk about that lame.
Dang. You didn't
Thursday
want
night
to talk about the
football
game last night, huh? You didn't say not one word about it.
Who, me? I mean,
Buccaneers didn't even make it into this conversation.
the Buccaneers did not. The Buccaneers didn't play well. Like I really didn't think they played. The fact that the game was that close and went to overtime, I thought was kind of ridiculous because the Falcons' defense is better than that. And Kirk Cousins, first of all, throwing the ball 56 times is ridiculous.
They couldn't run it.
But I just don't understand it. But 506 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yep, Vita Bay, who just got back healthy, which helped out a lot. But still, that Falcons defense is better than that Buccaneers offense for that game to be that close.
I don't know.
It was just the NFC South game.
I don't know where you keep getting this BS that you think the Falcons defense is anything special. They got good safety.
Their corners suck. They got good front seven, bro. I'm not saying they got people that light it up and surprise you, but they got good players, bro.
They do not have a good. They have a terrible front seven.
Bro, the last 3 years they've had a linebacker lead the league in tackles. It's not like they're a terrible.
That's not necessarily a good thing.
They're not a terrible defense, bro.
I mean, it might not be a terrible defense, but they're definitely not a good one.
They're not. They shouldn't have. Where Baker Mayfield shouldn't have lit
Baker
up like
Mayfield
that,
didn't get pressured in the first half. You
yeah, okay.
Talking about their front seven.
Yeah, I didn't say they got a good front seven. I'm not gonna say they're good at blitzing. They're not a blitzing defense.
But they better because if the
they
four aren't going to get there.
No, they're not. But they got really good linebackers, which makes their front seven look good. They've had really good linebackers for the last 4 years, bro. You can look at it. Their linebackers
haven't had a
lead
good
the tackle.
linebacker since Alawakwan left, and he'd be in Jacksonville for a while now.
St. Louis kid too. People don't shout him out enough. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Yeah, we all over the place. We top 7 in pro athletes.
I think St. Louis has the second most players in the NFL for any city. I want to say
we're
maybe
top
it was Missouri
7
or something.
We're top 7 in the nation producing pro athletes, which is crazy. Like when you look at the map, it's like someplace. It's like Los Angeles, New York, Houston, Columbus.
Yeah, I think the stat I saw was like I
Miami.
think athlete. I don't think it was total athletes. I think it was like athletes per capita.
Per capita.
This was like second.
Yes, per capita we're second, but if you look at cities that have pro athletes right now, we're number 7.
Pretty good.
But yeah, per capita
good for a little city.
It really is, yeah. But anyway, yeah, let's get started. No one really cares about Thursday night football. It's never good. It's never entertaining.
Overtime.
Last night was cool. Last night was cool, though. I will give you that. Last night was cool. But 56, they got to do something about the passing. They can't live that way. You got too much talent. You got a great running back. You got to figure things out. And
all right. Before we move on, let me ask this question. At what point do we stop thinking about the potential of Bijan Robinson?
What do you mean? It's only year 3.
Yeah.
He had a good rookie year. Second year fell off a little bit. and everybody realized Arthur Smith is not that dude and couldn't figure out how to use the offense. Kyle Pitts is a bust now. Kyle Pitts, this is what, year 4 or 5? He can be up there and bust. This is year 4. He was drafted a year before.
He was good last
Bijan
year
Robinson.
or last night. He had damn near 100
night?
yards last night.
Man,
All I'm
yeah,
just
7
all I'm saying is I'm
catches.
just waiting. Everyone keeps telling me how great Bijan Robinson is, and like
Bijan Robinson is
I
great.
get it. I get it because
Do
when I
you
see him
watch
get the
it?
ball, yeah, I
He
see when
does
he gets the
great.
ball, he's
a-
dynamic and everything.
It's a
but
bad offense.
it's a lot of negative. I mean, all right.
You go, but that's what
There's
they
a
do.
lot of
They
running
give
backs
him
that
a
can put up
swing.
numbers on.
They give him a swing pass and say go do something.
I would just
They
love
do
to
that a
see him
lot.
just here, hand the ball off.
I agree.
5
That's what he
yards.
did at Texas.
5 yards.
That's what he did at Texas.
I mean, yeah, a lot of running backs in college do that.
You can do that when you have a great offensive line in front of you. You're not
When
lying.
you're Texas playing in the Big 12. I'm just saying, at some point, the production's got to match the hype
But
around him.
you can say that
can't
about a
play-
lot of players on that team, though. They got a lot of first round talent on that. The Drake London hasn't produced like everybody thought he would. Kyle
He's
Pitts
producing
hasn't
this
produced
year.
like this year, but the people were questioning it before that.
Sure, but I'm saying, but now I'm actually getting to see the production match.
It's
kind
only
of
year 3 with Bijan
talent.
Robinson, bro. I get
What do
it.
you
He's
mean
a
it's
running back,
only
so
year 3. Running backs don't get second contracts. Like what are we doing?
That's true. So he better show out. He's had flashes.
That's what I'm saying. Like running backs are supposed to be like year 1. Boom, here they are. Like look at Saquon. Saquon on those garbage ass Giants.
This is
teams
like
could at
year
least put up
7.
numbers. I'm talking about
He did.
when he went to the Giants. He immediately
Yeah, but he
was
and
an impact
got hurt.
player.
And got hurt.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, got hurt.
I need to start
But I know
seeing
what you're
it.
saying.
I need to start seeing it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
just saying. I think Arthur Smith could have stunted that growth because obviously he didn't know how to use the offense. Because look at how the Steelers look right now. Ain't no real offense or identity there in that offense either. So,
Justin Fields got a higher passer rating than Patrick Mahomes right now.
well, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to, but
we're not doing that. We are not doing that.
Travis Kelce.
He just lost his receiver this past week. We're not doing that.
I don't even like Pat Mahomes, but I'm not gonna sit there and act like he's had an A list of wide receivers this year. Come on, bro. He hasn't.
It's not A
People
list. It's
get-
not the best in the NFL. It's not bad. It's not that bad.
Rashee Rice ain't like I get it. He had a good start to the season. Rashee Rice is not that dude. I get people like I don't see the hype. It's not like he's a great route runner. As soon as he loses his speed, it's up for him.
Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce,
Lightweight
with Andy Reid. Like that's.
I get it. It's
plenty.
okay. It's okay. I know it's like LeBron. You just put anybody around him, he gonna make it work. I get it. Am I wrong?
Move on.
So
We're
you
not talking
couldn't even
about
deny those facts. Can't even deny them facts. What you mean? It's NBA
Mahomes-
Media Day was the other day. So don't act
Mahomes
like
the GOAT. Mahomes the GOAT.
just like LeBron's the GOAT. That's my point.
Yeah, and all I was saying is that Justin Fields so far this year with Arthur Smith has a better passer rating than the GOAT. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean, passer rating is flawed anyway because it only goes to 156, which don't make sense.
Whatever.
Or whatever the number is. But anyway, let's go to our picks. Let's go to the London game where you got the Jets and the Vikings. You got Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold. Who would have thought Sam Darnold playing against his old team? Aaron Rodgers playing against his old, I guess, nemesis back in the NFC North. So, who you got? I think this is going to be an ugly game. Aaron Rodgers has to deal with that jet lag at 40 years old compared to Sam Darnold, way younger, having to deal with that jet lag. And that defense for Brian Flores is going to. You can't come out slow against that defense.
So I am gonna pick Minnesota. I will say this: this is gonna be probably the first true test for Flores and that defense. Now, I hear you if you want to say, well, Houston, CJ Stroud's really good. CJ Stroud's still in year 2, has not seen the things that Aaron Rodgers has seen. In the Flores era in Miami, would kill a lot of the mediocre to below average quarterbacks. But Josh Allen would hang 50 on Flo. Aaron Rodgers got I don't know if Aaron Rodgers got Flo. I think it was Josh Boyer who was the guy that was left over with McDaniel. That was the defensive coordinator under Flo. Aaron Rodgers killed him. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to take Minnesota just because I think the Jets still just seem like a mess, and I think Flo has also continuously grown, and now that he's solely focused on defense, we'll be able to have a little more of a counterpunch, if it's not working perfectly right away. So I'm going to take Minnesota, but would not be surprised. I think the wisdom and kind of experience of Aaron Rodgers, both against a defense like that and dealing with the international travel, will be an advantage for the Jets.
I'm going with Minnesota too, and that's because you were just talking about first round talent and how long are we consider them top talent. I'm a big Ohio State fan, but where the hell is Garrett Wilson at? I'm just saying, you got all this talent on the receiving core. No receiver can get open. How is Lazard the number one receiver on this team right now? And I keep hearing Garrett Wilson this, Garrett Wilson that. He's telling me he's the top 3 receiver in the league and all this nonsense. I ain't seen him do shit since y'all said that. So if you're gonna be that guy and you got Aaron Rodgers, you got a quarterback that everybody says is the greatest quarterback, probably up there, the greatest quarterback talent-wise they've ever seen. So you got this quarterback, but you can't find a way to get open for him. So I don't trust the Jets offense. Breece Hall is nice. I'll give him that. But I don't trust any of those receivers. Lazard
Breece Hall
doesn't
looks like the
scare me.
second best running back on that team.
Yeah.
Braylon Allen looks better.
He has Mo. Breece Hall, I don't think Breece Hall
3 yards
he reminds me of Tony Pollard is what I was gonna say. Like he's a good.
Not a bad comparison.
You just need to combo somebody with him. I think he's too small to be an every down back. So, but he is one of their best offensive weapons though. So I'm gonna give him credit for that. Out of the backfield, catching passes as well. But I just think Minnesota's defense is gonna be too good going against that average offense, even if they do have Aaron Rodgers. Can the receivers get open? Even if he dissects the defense and tries to make quick passes, can the receivers get open? And I haven't seen that happen quite yet. So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings.
We'll also see how Sauce Gardner does on Justin Jefferson. I think they've played each other one time, and I think Sauce and DJ Reader kind of traded off and actually had a pretty good game against Justin Jefferson.
But the way Addison is showing up,
I'm just saying it's another fun kind of matchup to watch. Like
I agree,
a premier corner versus premier receiver. That should be a fun matchup.
The messed up part is, okay, I don't do that. Go ahead, try to eliminate him. You got Addison. You got so many receivers. The tight end. They are stacks. Like they really are set up to win. It's just they're the Minnesota Vikings, so they never will. There's something about them just cursed in the playoffs. Let's go to the next game. This is gonna be an ugly game. I wish Bryce Young was playing. The Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears. This is gonna be ugly. Every time I watch a Bear, and I'm probably gonna have it in St. Louis. They always give us the Bears. This is gonna be an ugly game. Who you got?
Give me Chicago. I liked the progression that I think I saw from Caleb last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
More of taking what the defense gives him, not forcing as many things, not looking for as many hero plays. I think that'll be enough to beat Carolina, because I think at the end of the day, I don't think Carolina has really anything to hang their hat on. Andy Dalton has been fine as a quarterback for them in these 2 games. Their defense still is not very good. And I think Chicago's defense is actually above average. One of the better, maybe top 10, but close to 10 defense in the NFL this year. So I'm going to take Chicago. I think they've just got a little bit more tools in the toolbox to play with.
I'm going with the Bears too. I'm not buying the hype of Andy Dalton. He did look good for 2 weeks, but they kind of fizzled out in that second half of that game. And you saw really what Andy Dalton looked like last week. Just an average, okay quarterback. And I just don't think they have enough weapons around him to be competitive in every game. So I think that has gone by the wayside. And I like the Bears' defense. It's solid. It keeps them in a lot of games. And if the Bears can continue to get back to that mindset of running the ball, like when they had Herbert, they ran the ball a lot. And they had the last 2 years, they did a good amount of run the ball. Even before that, before Herbert, when they had Montgomery, I believe it was.
Yep, David
The
Montgomery.
David Montgomery, they ran the ball well. So if they can kind of lean back into that, they have the receivers to do short plays. I don't know why they feel like, okay, I get DJ Moore is a really good receiver down the field, but he's also someone you can get the ball in space and let him create. And Keenan Allen is a good mid-range and deep route receiver. I feel like they got too many deep routes. They need to go to the short to intermediate game and play like everyone else is in the NFL. Run the ball, play action, short, intermediate, and get Caleb Williams comfortable because, like you said last week, there was flashes of him looking pretty good. So I'm going to take the Bears because I think there's progression each week. Still don't trust the coaches, but I trust the players a little bit more than the Panthers. Next game, let's go. Baltimore plays the Bengals. You got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow.
Give me Baltimore. They looked fantastic
White forces,
last
but black
week.
forces.
They looked. I mean, they looked like they'd kind of figured out the offense. That was like a kind of an aha moment. Here's everything now. We'll see how that goes. But I mean, it should be a pretty good matchup. I mean, Lou Anarumo's got a really good reputation. That reputation has not really lived up to the level of play that Cincinnati's defense has played to this year. Now they've lost a lot of players over the last couple of years as they've paid Joe Burrow and are trying to pay some of these other premier players. Trey Hendrickson went down last week, so it's another blow to their defense. Obviously, Jesse Bates is in Atlanta now, so I mean they just kind of keep losing more and more and more of their defense. So I think Baltimore's going to be able to exploit that. I know this is one of the games that's going to feel like probably a must-win for Cincinnati because 1-4 is going to look real ugly if they get there. But I don't really see any other way to go with this one. I think Baltimore is just in a different class than Cincinnati, and I don't buy the whole thing with Cincinnati. Oh, well, they're just going to figure it out. They're going to finally get. You win, you lose.
All right, I agree with you. I mean, they're figured out. They're not going to figure it out if they're still using a 2021 offense. They're using the same offense that they used when they made it to the Super Bowl, and people have figured it out. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins aren't doing what they need to do. They're not really getting open as much as they used to. You don't have Joe Mixon back there anymore. You don't really truly have a reliable back that you can just lean on heavily in games. They still continue to have Joe Burrow in shotgun and throw the ball way too much. And like I said, that defense, they can't play that same defense where you can just play man up and you got Bates going on the tight end or one of the slot corner or slot receivers, and you just man up and lock everybody down and get coverage sacks left and right. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. So I'm in this situation with you. Baltimore, the offense is too good, and I think, like you said, they clicked, and that defense is going to be good. And everybody's figured out that offense. They're not scared of any of that offense. Nothing strikes fear in you anymore when you play the Bengals. Like, ooh, they got Joe Burrow and all these weapons. They're going to put up 42 points. No, that's not going to happen. So I'll take it the Ravens. Next up, this is the worst game of the week. The lowly Miami Dolphins play the New England Patriots.
I don't even want to talk about this game. Give me the Patriots. And until I see the Dolphins do something, I'm picking against them every single time until Tua comes back. So give me the Patriots. Dolphins suck. McDaniel, show me something. Show me you can run a just halfway competent offense without Tua, please. I'm hoping that if maybe I pick against him, I'll kind of reverse jinx or something. I'm hoping. I'll be rooting like hell for my Dolphins, but I can't pick them right now with the way they've looked the last 2 weeks without Tua. There's just no way.
I'm picking the Dolphins. They always get one surprising one against the Patriots. This the one they're gonna get. They always get one.
You mean they always get one? They would get one surprising one against Tom Brady. They've owned the Patriots since Tua came. Tua's never lost to the Patriots. That's what McDaniel or Tua has never lost to the Patriots.
So then they're not gonna lose now. You just made my point. I'm going with the Dolphins.
I hope you're right. I'm rooting for you.
The Patriots are not good, bro. They don't scare you. The defense is what scares me though about this game. The Patriots defense is really good, and that's gonna frustrate Tyreek because I mean, what you gonna do? You don't have a quarterback, so he's gonna be frustrated. And once he's frustrated,
Shit,
that can
even if
kind of
Tua was playing, Christian Gonzalez is like that.
yeah.
I've been trying to
So it
tell
was gonna
people
be
Christian
tough no matter
Gonzalez is
what.
like that. Another thing about this one, Joe, the Dolphins, is more kind of insult
If
to
they run the
injury,
ball,
quote unquote. Jalen Phillips done for the year. Hurt
mm.
his knee on Monday night, so
Damn.
still don't have Bradley Chubb back from his season-ending injury last year.
Damn.
So they signed Tyus Bowser, formerly with the Ravens, knows the defensive
Oh,
coordinator Weaver, who came from the Ravens. But I mean, they're just gonna be thin. Hopefully, Chop Robinson can kind of have his coming out game against the
I'm still
Patriots.
picking the
Patriots
Dolphins.
offensive line is terrible, but yeah, I mean this game, Joe, I wouldn't be surprised if neither team made it to 10 points. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I wouldn't either. Like a 9-6, 9-7.
Which is crazy with the Dolphins still having Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, maybe Mostert back, and it'll be the first game for Odell
Makes
Beckham.
no sense. Oh, and Odell.
He
He's
was
sitting there taking
activated
them
this
free
week off the
checks.
PUP list. He's
He's
been
been
a full
taking free checks for
participant,
2 years.
so we'll see. He had some good games for Baltimore last year. One of which against my Dolphins.
He did. That's true. Like I said, he had a great Super Bowl until he got hurt.
Yeah,
He was probably gonna be the MVP of that Super Bowl until he got hurt.
sure was.
Ooh, boy, I'm so done with this team, and I'm so done with Deshaun Watson. Browns and the Washington Commanders. Who you got?
Give me the Commanders. I think Cleveland's defense, I think, has been surprisingly mediocre. I won't say bad, but mediocre.
If Myles Garrett don't go crazy, they're just mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like relying on him wrecking the game. I'm not sure exactly what has happened to Denzel Ward. Doesn't seem like he's quite the same lockdown man-to-man corner that he had been in previous years. Maybe it's a
need to
slower
be moved to
start.
safety.
Maybe I need to pay a little attention, a little extra attention. All things are possible, but I do think Washington, with the way they're kind of rolling right now on offense, I don't think Cleveland's going to be able to put up enough points.
Washington's defense is trash though, but that offense for the Browns is ugly, and they can't run the ball. Deshaun Watson looks washed. He looks absolutely terrible. This is a situation where, to be honest, I have more faith in the rookie quarterback and that run game for Washington to be able to beat the Browns. I wouldn't be surprised they put up 40 points again. So I'm gonna go with the Commanders in this one. Next up, the Colts and the Jaguars. That's an ugly ass game. Is Anthony Richardson active or will it be Joe Flacco? I haven't not checked on that to be 100%.
Last report I saw was that Anthony Richardson feels really good, and I believe the expectation is that he's going to play, which I think is advantage Jacksonville, but they're so ass. I'm still going to pick the Colts to win this game, just because the Jaguars are close to how I feel about my Dolphins right now without Tua. I can't trust him. Won't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably take Trevor Lawrence's under on passing yards again, because I keep putting that bitch all the way at 225, and he ain't seen 200 yet this year. So I'm gonna take Indy. This is a kind of a coin flip game between two teams that I'm not in love with. One piece of news that is impactful for the Colts game, though, there will be no Jonathan Taylor. He is already been ruled out of that game. So,
I'm taking the Jags.
Sways you. If that sways you one way or the other, I don't care. I think the Jaguars are bad enough to where it's not.
The Jaguars are bad. The Jaguars are very bad, but the Colts aren't good either. That offense is not good, and the only reason they beat the Steelers last week is because Joe Flacco came in and he understands the Steelers. He's played against them plenty of times. So he knew what he was going to see. He knew how to dissect that defense, and he was getting rid of the ball so quick. But I think this is going to be a situation. The Jags are terrible. They're not very good either. This is going to be an ugly game, but I think they got a little momentum from how they looked last week. They looked a little bit better. Doug Peterson, I'm going to need you to coach a little bit more, but I'm just going to go with the Jags on this one just because the Colts, there's so many times they don't look good. And the fact that Jonathan Taylor's not playing is a big reason why I'm going to go with the Jags. All right, let's go to the Raiders and the Broncos.
Give me the Raiders, I guess. I don't feel good about it. I think this will be another fairly low-scoring game. I don't think Denver's defense is actually like that, what they did to the Jets last week. I think it's good. I don't think it's that good. I think the elements, the weather played a little bit of a role in that. I think Vegas will be able to do enough. Vegas has been weird. Like, they beat Baltimore. I forget who they lost to a couple weeks ago, where it was the Panthers. They got destroyed by the Panthers.
No, they got beat down. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're not quite as tough as I thought they were. But then last week, no Devontae Adams, they go out there and play the Browns, and they get a win.
It's the Browns.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't really hold Denver in much more esteem than I do Cleveland. It's like I don't really think, a team that
fair
had 60 passing yards last week is not exactly terrifying. So, give me the Raiders. Don't love it, obviously, but give me the Raiders if I have to pick.
Yeah, I'm going on the same premise with you. I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think this is a opportunity for Antonio Pierce all week long. He's probably been preaching, people don't want to be here. It's us against them. Who cares? It's all about us. That rah momentum stuff will last you a week, especially playing against a bad team like the Broncos. So I'll take the Raiders. Next game, let's go Arizona Cardinals and the 49ers. Kyler Murray and that Arizona offense hasn't been looking as good as we thought they were going to look from the first 2 weeks compared to these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, give me San Francisco. This one.
49ers got a lot of injuries too, though, but I think I'm going to go with the 49ers too. The way the Cardinals looked the last 2 weeks is a scary sign, and this is what Kyler Murray does the closer you get to November. So
just say
Call of Duty comes out. Call of Duty come out in a week and a half. I'm just saying. It's true. It's not my fault. It's true. We'll see if he could prove me wrong. But he hasn't looked good. He is not. He started off hot, and now that offense does not look the same. But James Conner, they haven't run the balls the same either. And that defense is just average. Let's go to the next game. Green Bay Packers. They are ass. They're slow. They got some okay players. You're right. I'll give you that. Green Bay Packers, Los Angeles Rams.
I still think they're overrated, but I'm going to take the Packers. Rams, they're just missing a lot, and I just feel like it's hard.
So many injuries.
It's hard to really be because the one thing about Green Bay that I will not dismiss is I do think Matt LaFleur is a very good head coach. So I think it's going to be a little too. I don't think he's going to allow a team that's that depleted to be able to go in and beat the Packers. I know Christian Watson's most likely not going to play, but they still got.
They don't need Christian Watson's. They don't need him.
Yeah, he's good for a few plays a game. He's not someone they're gonna rely on play in, play out, series in, series out. So I think the Packers are going to win this game. The Rams. McVay is a good coach as well. He can.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
he'll probably make this closer than the talent levels would say it would. It should be.
Has McFleur beat McVay though? Has he beat McVay before?
I don't.
Because he's and they under the same coaching tree. I remember when they played a couple years ago. I feel like that was the big story.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I think LaFleur came from the Rams. Like they're all from either McVay.
So he's never. I don't think he's ever beat him. It's vice versa. It's one of those. I'm picking the Packers. I'm taking the Packers. The Rams got too many injuries, and the Packers. Jordan Love's getting back healthier. He's gonna get into a groove. I think that offense is grooving. That defense, I still think is competitive. So yeah, Packers. Next game, Giants and Seattle. Oh my God.
Does Seattle ever have to play anybody? Their schedule has been they played one
super
game
light.
That ended up being tough. I mean. I guess, granted, the Dolphins wasn't supposed to be an easy one at the beginning of the year, but I mean, good Lord, they don't play anybody. I mean, Seattle because they're playing Daniel Jones, but I mean
Daniel Jones, yeah.
Daniel Jones without Malik Neighbors at that. Malik Neighbors was ruled out today due to his concussion. So,
Seattle easy.
Catching break after break. Give me Seattle. This one's not
Seattle. Yeah, you don't even have to do any analysis on that bullshit. Uh, oh my God, this is gonna be tough for me. This is gonna be a tough day.
No, we're
Cowboys
not
and
going
the
to Sunday night
Steelers.
yet. We can't do. You gotta save Sunday night and Monday night for a second to last.
Okay,
I see
Buffalo
only one other
and
game on here.
Titans.
This is a fun one.
Buffalo and Texans.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh, yeah, going back home. Okay, I remember playing his old team.
Yeah, I think this one's at Houston, but
Is that
Stephon
Houston? That's right.
Diggs has seemingly. See, this is the one thing, Joe. We've talked about this obviously off air plenty of times. I just really hate how anytime, especially if it's a receiver, but if it's a passionate black receiver,
Diva.
they always get labeled a diva or a cancer. Why can't he just be passionate? But Tom Brady goes and walks down the entire offensive line, walks them all down, tells them, calls them everything, every word in the book. Same thing to his receivers. If they don't run the route that he expected, blah, 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 blah. He's just passionate. He's just a fiery competitor. Why can't we say the same thing about Stephon Diggs? Because if you look right now in Houston, he's fairly clearly the number 2. Like Nico Collins, I believe, is leading the entire NFL in receiving yards. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't no issue over there. They're 3-1. So
they didn't do that shit
everyone tried to scapegoat Stephon Diggs last year. It's like, oh yeah, he's not bought in. No, he was negotiating. He wanted his money before the season. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a business. That's that man's career. I would like to ask any of these people that say that Stephon Diggs is all this and that, right? Do you openly take less money at your job when you think you can get some more? I don't. If
Riley
I think
Cooper's
I
their
can get some more
favorite
money,
wide receiver. That's what that is. That's what that is.
So
he wasn't a diva though,
on
his rant. His rant didn't make him a diva.
It made him something else.
Made
him a racist.
Well, he went to counseling for one day. What are you talking about? He got fixed in one day.
So all that aside, I do find this storyline fascinating.
That's
now,
good.
I do also believe that Josh Allen has no hard feelings towards Stephon Diggs, and I believe that those two like each other. Like I don't think it's like an.
I think Stephon Diggs doesn't think he's a good quarterback. I think Stephon Diggs was like, he keeps missing me when I'm open. A little bit. I guarantee you there's a little bit of that. The same thing with CeeDee Lamb and Dak. It happened, but you move on, you get over it. But in the game,
I'm not saying that like in the I'm not saying like in the moment he's probably like, God damn, Josh, you couldn't hit me there, bro.
Hit this
wide open.
again, motherfucker.
I think they like each other, like in terms of just like off the field. Like I think they like. I don't think there's any like bad blood there by any means. But I do think I think for Josh Allen there is a little bit of, because a lot of the conversation was Stephon Diggs was kind of what made Josh Allen ascend. So I think Josh Allen would like to kind of say,
prove wrong.
I can do it on my own too. I can do it on my own too now. And Stephon Diggs would also
needed his ass last week
from his end. Exactly. You still need a guy like me. Yeah, you can beat up on the Dolphins. You do that every single fucking time you play them. You need me to beat the Baltimores, those types of teams. So I think there's a little bit of a prove it there with them. So I'm going to take the home team. I'm going to take the Texans. Is this a little bit my heart? Yeah. But I do think Buffalo was exposed a little bit last week on defense. I think Houston will be able to attack them in a similar way that Baltimore could. So I think they're going to have a good game offensively, and I think Houston's defense is pretty good. I think they're one of the better defenses in the NFL. So I'm gonna go Houston, but it's gonna be probably my game to watch out of the afternoon games.
I'm gonna go with Buffalo on this one. I think Josh Allen has been playing well, but they didn't look great last week against Baltimore, but Baltimore can do that too. And I think Josh Allen has been more comfortable and open than just, I think maybe it's not him, maybe it's the offense that they're running, that he's actually distributing the ball well. And I like what I've seen out of him. I think he's definitely up there for MVP right now, even though it's so early in the season. You got to give him, like, he's one of the best offensive players we've seen all season so far. So I'm going to see if he can do it again. CJ Stroud and that offense to me has looked okay. It hasn't looked as good as it did last year, but that's what happened last year too. They said he had a slow start last year, and then he finally got it under control around this time of the year last year. So this is going to be one of those big games where he's like, Is this the CJ Stroud game where he finally clicks and gets everything rocking and rolling? That offense is smoothing, or is this going to be a Josh Allen game where it lights it up? I think it's going to be both. It'll be a high scoring game, but I think Josh Allen will have one play that'll get it done, and he'll continue his hot start to the season. So I'm gonna take Buffalo. You want to go to Sunday Night Football? Let's do Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Game of the week. Game of the week. Game of the week. It is the game of the week. They keep making the Cowboys the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Game of the week. Who you got? They're both fraudulent.
Tough.
They're both fraudulent.
Tough. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh. The player that I trust the absolute most in this game is TJ Watt. I'm gonna take him. I still think Dallas is very undisciplined on defense. Undisciplined teams against Justin Fields is not a good recipe. That can make life very easy for him. Running the football, I think.
No DeMarcus Lawrence, no Michael Parsons. They're missing a couple corners.
It's just like if he extends plays, we know Diggs likes to try and jump some routes. Justin Fields isn't a timing passer anyways, so I think there's going to be some big plays out there for Pittsburgh, but it should be a good game. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won this one, but I think Pittsburgh is who I trust a little bit more right now.
I'm going to take the Steelers too. The Cowboys, I know that their defense is not great. They got a lot of injuries, but the Steelers can't run the ball, so that's going to keep the Cowboys in the game because defensively they're not going to have to be concerned with the run. But Cowboys can't run the ball either. And I think that puts them in a tough situation because now you can't offset TJ Watt. And now his ears are pinned back the whole game because he knows, y'all can't run the ball. Nobody's scared of y'all running game at all. And I think that TJ Watt can destroy your entire day, and that just makes the rest of the defense more comfortable, and they can tee up and get what they want because Dak's going to be pressured. CeeDee Lamb's not going to have opportunities to get open because Dak's going to have to get rid of the ball so fast. So those deep, explosive plays that CeeDee Lamb does aren't going to be there. That defense is injured and hobbled a lot. So I think that Steelers offense, they can't run the ball, but they can throw the ball a little bit. And I think George Pickens will have a good day, and the Steelers will win this game. It won't be a high-scoring game, but I'll take the Steelers to beat the Cowboys. And then lastly, let's do the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who you got? Who you got?
I got New Orleans walking into Arrowhead, walking them down. While I think Andy Reid will be overall okay with the weapon situation they have right there in Kansas City for the season, I think week 1 there's going to be some figuring out there. And I think the Saints have a very complete team that I think will be able to get the job done. Do I love it? No, because the Chiefs keep finding ways to win, even when it seems like they shouldn't win some of these games. But I think New Orleans will be able to score enough points, and I think their defense is good enough to make life pretty hard for Patrick Mahomes. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Even though both these teams are probably more well-known for their offenses, I think this is going to be a low-scoring one. But give me the Saints.
Oh, man, I hate to agree with you, but I'm taking the Saints too. I think Derek Carr in his career has played the Chiefs pretty well. I mean, there's been a couple of games where it hasn't looked very good, but there's games where he's surprised and upset the Chiefs, and he was with the Raiders with a worse team. I think he has a good team around him. Is Kamara healthy? That's going to be a big question mark. Because if he's not healthy, that may change my answer a little bit. But I'm still going to go with the Saints. I think they have more offensive weapons. The offense for the Chiefs hasn't really clicked yet. The defense looks good, but I just don't know with all the weapons that they're missing offensively if they can keep up, like you said, right now. They'll get it together. They'll figure it out. We were questioning their offense last year around this time, and they figured it out. So they're definitely going to figure it out. I just don't think that this is the time to do it, and this is not going to be their opportunity. I hate to say it, but I actually have faith in Derek Carr in that offense this week going against the Chiefs. So I'll take the Saints. I can't believe I just picked Derek Carr. That's fucking wild, bro. That is what it is, though. That's real life. You know, any given Sunday, shit, we just went through our picks. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with love or violence. Let's do that, like we always do here at 3 Possible. So wrap shows up. Let's do some love or violence. What you got? What you got? What you got? I know you're gonna choose some violence.
See, Joe, I'm
Aces about to get
torn.
swept.
They're not about to get swept. They're gonna win tonight. I'm torn on how I want to phrase this because there's love in there, but it's also violence at the same time because I feel like it was wrong. So
That's
call
what
it
men
you
say when
want.
they slap their woman, bro. What are you talking about?
Excuse you.
That's what they say. There was love in that slap. That's what it sounded like. That's what Ray Rice said. There was love in that slap.
You're out of pocket.
Adrian Peterson said the same thing. There was love in that butt whooping.
So what I'm talking about is the defensive woman of the year in the WNBA. I love that Napheesa got it. I love that for her. Napheesa Collier went to high school in St. Louis. Love that she won Defensive Player of the Year. But this was about as fraudulent as it could be.
Absolutely. There's no way.
I mean, she's a great defensive player, don't get me wrong, but the defensive performance that A'ja Wilson put on this year should have been just as unanimous as her MVP was, in my opinion. I'm not a big blocks and steals guy. That's not my thing. I think that can be an overrated way to just judge somebody's defense. But the eye test when I watch the Aces play tells me she's a force defensively. She's not a liability if she gets switched out on the perimeter. She obviously owns the paint. About 3 blocks a game this year. She also had about 2 steals a game this year, which is insane for a center, right? And then, rebounding finishes a defensive possession. If you ask any basketball coach from NBA all the way down to elementary school, they will say the defensive possession is not over until you rebound the basketball, which she did at the highest clip this season. So I just cannot make any sense of how she was not the defensive player of the year. I love it for Napheesa. I love that she got it.
Spreading the notoriety across the WNBA, maybe. Get more names out there.
Something. I was just like, man, it sort of make any sense to me. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little another hate in there, Joe. Whoever the fuck voted for Angel Reese as the one Rookie of the Year that took away Caitlin Clark's unanimous Rookie of the Year, you're a fraud. Like Angel Reese,
that's fucked up.
You did it so she wouldn't get unanimous. And that's again, I get tired of the Caitlin Clark,
but especially after Angel Reese got injured.
Caitlin Clark's fault. It's not Caitlin's fault. She's
actually done a great job of ignoring that and telling people there's other women out there.
Yeah, she's done a good job when asked questions. She could be a little more proactive, I think, in some of her talk. But again, when she's asked, she always says the correct thing.
But she's a rookie trying to get I'll give her excuse.
That's my whole. There's whoever did that, you're corny as hell.
You know what? I'm gonna do love. I give you that. That's media for you.
Yeah,
1000%. And it was never mind. I almost said something bad. Let me stop before we get canceled. I'm gonna choose a love violence as well, kinda. Cause I'm gonna give Mizzou love, Mizzou football. I'm gonna give them some love. But they got to play Texas A&M tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Frauds.
At Texas A&M, and that's what I'm saying. I don't like Drinkwitz. I think he's a used car salesman. And a used car salesman can make things look real nice until you leave the lot with it, and then you realize you got a lot of problems. And I think this is when the problems start to arise, when you actually play in a real SEC school, in a real SEC stadium, in a real SEC environment. And they almost lost to Vanderbilt. Texas A&M has great talent. They've over the past few years, they've had poor coaching and over expectations for young talent. They have a lot of
Jimbo.
talent on there that can beat you.
That's the Jimbo
So-
special right there.
Facts. And Jimbo's not there no more. So I'm gonna give Mizzou love for now until they blow it, because ain't nothing better in the world to me than to root against Mizzou. So I'm gonna give y'all love right now because I want y'all to be at your highest of your highest before y'all come crashing down. Because this is what Mizzou fans do all the time. As soon as they get one win, they go crazy. They super excited, and then as soon as they lose a game, it's the end of the world and it's over, and people are gonna stop going. So I don't know where you want to put that on love or violence. I don't know where you want to put it, but that's where I'm at. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm working the game and I'm gonna be watching that bitch, rooting against them so hard to lose. I can't wait. I'm so dead ass too. There's nothing better to me than when Mizzou just crumbles and falls on their place, because that's what they do. They may start the game up 14-0 and then they're gonna lose 28-14 or some shit like that, because that's what they do. And it's just gonna make my day. So I hope you enjoy college football tomorrow. Football
I'll be
Sunday.
at the U of L game. I'll be at the U of L game tomorrow. I'm in the suite on Churchill.
Really?
Wait.
Who are they playing?
Like SMU or something.
Oh, that actually might be a good game. If they're playing SMU, that's gonna be a lot of money at that game. You better go to that game in the box. That's gonna be hella money. That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's dope. Today was it today? No, yesterday. What's today? Friday? Yeah, yesterday was the last day of no football until November.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
for like 55 days. Yeah.
Can't wait. That's crazy. That means we're gonna have football on Tuesdays
Yeah, we have some action or something.
and Wednesday. Oh yeah, don't we have a Netflix game like on Christmas? Remember on Christmas? Isn't there this year? I think there's a Tuesday game, a Wednesday. There's definitely a stretch. I think there's a stretch in 2 weeks where there's 1 day or 2 days where we don't have football on. So, and that's like during the holidays, because it'll be like
Yeah, it's after
Thanksgiving.
for sure.
It'll be like after Thanksgiving. It'll be the playoffs, and there'll be college football also. So like they got games during the week, and then Christmas and New Year's Eve. I think there's games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then like Monday, Tuesday will be like college football. It's gonna be crazy. So we got a lot of football left in. This is only week 5, but it seems like there's a lot of football left for sure. Just not for the Miami Dolphins because they don't have a quarterback. And that'll do it for 3 and a Possible. Make sure you check out the Boom Fantasy app. Use promo code Possible. Get your first entry up to $100. Right? What's about the pick? The pick'ems. You get a pick spin. There's a pick 2.
Whole bunch of games. All
kind of
pick
stuff.
2, pick 3, long shots, anything you want.
All kind of ways for you to make some money. So definitely check that out. Use promo code Possible. This has been 3 and a Possible NFL